Alrighty, we had some kind of a glitch there. Don't know what that was, but we're back. Okay, so we are back. We're back from Vegas. We're back. That's probably what it is. It's the Las Vegas effect. Um, some kind of a live stream hiccup there with it relays out to Vimeo and then out to everything else. So here we are. It's been an interesting election morning. So a couple of people asked last week, and I sent out over the weekend, sort of a description of what I thought was going to happen around election day. I don't think there's going to be much happening today. Today's just a market day. So today is not the day that we're going to see any kind of crazy reactions to anything because nothing crazy's happened yet. So let's see where we are. We opened and markets were up on Palantir had some good news, and that's AI driven again. So as soon as AI gets into the picture for anything, all the AI stuff gets on the move. The markets in general took off. So we were up just a little bit on the open, and then we took off after the opening bell. So with that said, let's go take a look at our triple Qs because that's in play today. Triple Q, NQ setup, and then we've got some stuff on the Magnificent Seven, things that are trending and things that are sort of flattening out in the box, and those both offer opportunities. But let's go dig in and hope that our live stream is actually alive and healthy here, and that we can keep this baby rolling. So here are the charts, and you're looking here at your triple Qs, and as I said, we had this little pop on the open, and then this stuff just all took off, and we're up above second resistance. As long as we don't open above second resistance, that's usually not going to indicate that there's a major reversal coming. So the fact that we're up above there just says that now that's probably going to act as the fulcrum, at least for a portion of the rest of the day here. We've got anchored VWAPs of the first and second trend, and that second one is actually the one that I'm interested in looking at and working with for the rest of the morning, or the morning here in Los Angeles, afternoon, just after halftime in New York. So that is 491.13. We've got a support and resistance level there. We've got all of this volume by price stuff bricked up right there, and I think that that's going to provide some fairly decent support if we get back down to it again, as long as we're not in the middle of a market reversal. So right now is where we would expect, right in here for about 120, 125 to 130 or 135, that we're going to see the market come in a little bit, that we see some sort of a reversal. And if it gets down there and we get clear of this sort of reversal period up to about 135, then if we get an inflection, I'm going to look for a move back up into 492.16. So that's a good dollar move on the triple Qs, and of course that translates into a really good move if you happen to be trading the futures. So if you're on the future side of it, that's going to make you happy. Now let's take a look at the Magnificent Seven. Let's pull these up here. You can see that Apple was great on the open today. So we saw that sort of market maker arbitrage thing that we do, right? It popped higher. If you're in the room and you're looking at this stuff, then you know what I'm talking about, because we called it exactly at these threshold levels today. So when it came back down and reversed off of this low right here, that was also a pre-market low. That was where we were looking for the inflection. Came back up, got through that 221.50 pivot, and then we had a really nice opportunity for a move on the long side. So all the way up into 223.09 really was what we were looking for. And, that made for a really good opportunity. And a couple of you weren't there this morning. I assume you're out voting, or you're sitting it out in anticipation of some craziness today. But like I said, it's been good. And for those of you who trade Apple every day on the open with us, that was just a textbook setup today. Then we have here Amazon. So Amazon's the next chart we're looking at. This guy is in a trend today that says to me, we need to start looking at the geometry of how it's trading. We need to look at sort of where, we anticipate these pullbacks, these inflections are going to be. If you do a fib study, what you see is we've got a 618 retracement on sort of the bigger move that we had this morning that gets us from this low at what is that, about 197 up to the 199.11 level, and then we've got a 618 retracement down here at 97.67. And then if you take this little bit of a smaller move here, you know, you can see it's already extended significantly. So, but everything's clustered right there. So everything's clustered around this anchored VWAP. That's a good thing. And if it comes back down into that area, I'm going to take it. Other than that, I'm going to avoid Amazon here for a bit. Google is just off my radar altogether, just for now. I think if we see this level right here firm up and this level, then you know you see that aligns nicely with a bunch of volume by price stuff that we've got going on out here. And you know, if things start to get confluent there, and we see that that's a hard support on a retest, you know, I'll probably take it on as a long, as a 171.15 long on a retest with a target up around, you know, not far, 171.60. Let's see if that comes back into play. But for right now, like I said, it's pretty much just off my radar altogether. Meta, if it gets back down into this threshold level right here, $570.41, I'm going to look to catch it there for an inflection. I'm just going to do a quick in and out on that. So if I'm talking about it in the room, it's just based on I'm looking for a quick little scalp there and the move back up into that range. If it comes down further, right, so if we get in there and wind up just ticking back out again or stopping out on that, 568.92 is a level that I like a lot more. So if it gets down there, I am definitely going to look for a long, and that is based on the fact that we've got all of this stuff clustered up right there. And when that happens, you know, we tend to see a repeat performance later in the day. Microsoft is a little bit just sort of starting the trending move that we're expecting to see. This is going to represent a fib pullback right down to that 413.05 level. If we get a 413.05 print, which is right around the R2 pivot line there, got second resistance there, had a test of it. I want to see a little bit of a drop below. So this one I'm going to be a little bit fussy on in terms of what I need to see. I want to see it drop below the line, track back up through, and then probably going to go ahead and put a target right around that double header high there, you know, where the thing reversed and you know, managed to move higher the first time. Not so confident that if it gets down to the pivot, it's going to get back up into these highs again. So, you know, let's just play that one by ear and make sure that you know, we're staying frosty and staying on top of it. But Microsoft's looking all right from that pivot. On NVIDIA is interesting to me down from that 139.17 threshold. So if we get down into here, we've got all this, you know, volume by price data out here. We have this anchored VWAP over here. We've got a really solid trend in place, and we're going to be at a fib reversal. So we've got lots of things that are confluent there. I'll take a stab at 139.17, even though we had all of these tails down below there. So it wasn't really as firm as we would normally like to see it, but it, you know, it did manage to stay up above that line. And you know, it's not that far in terms of a stop. We can set a very tight stop just down below the line and say we're going to wait for it to dip and maybe come into 138.78. But more likely what I'll do is take some at the line and then add some even, you know, down a little bit further. Excuse me. So on Tesla I like quite a bit here. So if Tesla gets down into this area again, down into 250.50, I'll look for a repeat performance of that move higher. Also looking at this guy right here, this 250-230 level. If we get another inflection there, that would be the same kind of a deal. I would be looking for a move on Tesla that gets us back up into that pivot line. And if we get back into the pivot line, I will take a profit right there. If we get down to the lower one, then all the better, right? We've got more opportunity there than anywhere. So that is it. That wraps it up. I think that, you know, the trading today has been pretty much what I told you it was going to be last week. You know, today's not the day that's going to be sort of out of whack. Tomorrow, the next day, all depends on what happens. All depends on, are there going to be a bunch of challenges? Are there going to be, you know, are we going to get a result? I don't think we're going to get a result tonight. That's just me. I think it's probably going to be a couple days before we know the outcome of this thing. But, you know, one way or another, it's going to be okay. Just go vote and we're all going to be just fine no matter what happens here. This is going to be all right. It's just going to be kind of a mess if things get hairy for the next couple days. But let's hope it doesn't. Let's just hope for the best and prepare for a little wild ride if we have to. Okay, so I will see. Sorry about the thing not picking up at the beginning there, the live stream. I don't know why. We've got tons of cameras and equipment and all sorts of great technology here in the office, but when things go wrong, they tend to go off the rails pretty quick. So I will see everybody back here tomorrow. Have a great day, and don't overtrade, but stay in front of the office.